All right, welcome back to JonesyCast. I'm Jonesy. This is the cast. Hey, like and subscribe if you would like to subscribe. If not, that's cool too. We're back on relationship advice with Pocori, Poqori, 3 minutes ago. Should I, female 27, give him male 24 more time? No, you shouldn't. All right, I've read the post. If anyone else wants the full details, the link will be in the description. This is for Pocori. You're 27, he's 24, and you're essentially acting like a woman, and he's not acting like a man. And I don't say acting like a woman like, ooh, weak and all this stuff. I call my missus woman all the time, and it's a compliment because she's a woman, right? She's not a girl. And I expect this guy to be a man, not a boy. Now, I understand why he's not, because he's 24. Like, I didn't grow up until I was 28, right? But that's not your problem. I mean, you said down here that, first of all, honestly, writing this makes me realize more that I'm against giving him more time to grow up, but I don't want to throw away 3 years, and I feel like everything is my fault because I was the one who made the decision for him to come with me and not see the flaws in him. You're talking about something called the sunken cost fallacy. The sunken cost fallacy happens when you've invested so much into a bad thing, and then you realize it's a bad thing, but you don't stop because you've invested so much into it, right? It's an emotional thing, and it is completely understandable. But the truth is, you sort of already know where this train is going, and you're looking for someone to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you, right? But I'll tell you why. I'm not just going to tell you to break up with him, because that's not a good idea, right? To tell you to break up with him, it's not a good idea. Here's what you need to do. You need to have a chat with him, and you need to find out what he wants. Okay. Now, the way that you do that is you go into the conversation and you don't allow yourself to make any decisions as a consequence of the conversation you're about to have. You go in there and as a fact-finding mission, and you just see where he's at, right? You see what he wants in life, see what his plans are as a man. Because look, the truth is he's going to have to support you while you have a child. If he's not employed, how the fuck is he going to do that, right? He's going to have to support you emotionally. He's going to have to do the dishes when he doesn't want to. He's going to have to do the washing when he doesn't want to, right? He's going to have to give you foot massages when he doesn't want to, unless he has a fetish, in which case, keep that man. The issue is not that he's a bad man. The issue is that he's a good boy. But you don't need a boy. You need a man, right? But I want kids in a family soon, and I am getting up there in age. Look, I've been friends with a lot of women that have really felt their biological clock, and nearly all of them made the decision that you are thinking of making. And the reason is because that guy was he was a nice guy, but he wasn't a man. He wasn't a useful man. The truth is, love is not enough. Love is not enough. He needs to be useful. You need to be useful. You need to complement each other. You need to be with a man who makes you want to be better. He needs to be with a woman who makes him want to be better, right? And if he doesn't have that inside of him, that's fine. He just needs to go out with a girl who likes to smoke weed and play PlayStation, like I do. But it's just, it doesn't seem he's suited for you. So when you say that I think I outgrew my boyfriend, I think that is exactly right. And I also think that you have put it as succinctly as you possibly can. You outgrew him. I think that you probably started with him in a more mature position only because you had the plans in place already. And, you know, love and emotion gets in the way, so you give him more time. And then love and emotion still so you give him more time. But eventually what will happen if you stay with him for the wrong reasons is that you will resent him, because it stops you from resenting yourself for having such low standards, right? Now, should I wait for him to grow up? No. I mean, what you can do is you can say, look, I feel that I'm in a relationship with someone who doesn't have the same standards. Don't say to him, you're a boy and I'm a woman and you're insufficient, because that'll end badly, right? But you can say to him that I just don't think we have the same standards of living. I don't think we have the same, tempo of life. I work 15 hours a day in a hospital. I come home and you haven't even done dinner. I mean, even though you said you would, You know, it's one thing to have expectations that haven't been agreed on. It's another thing to have expectations because you agreed on something. And then if he doesn't meet them consistently, well, you've just got someone that's not doing their part. Here is what I would do. And I've said this in every bloody video I've made nearly. Write down what you want in a relationship. Write down the kind of man that you want to have. Write down the kind of woman that you want to be. Okay. And don't write that in reference to him. Write it as if you were single. And then what you do, and write it down. Don't type it in a device. Write it down so you can see it. And you actually, you know, it slows things down so we think, right? Then what you do is you have a look at him and you decide whether or not he compares favorably to your standards. They're not my standards. They're not some other dude on Reddit standards. They're your standards, okay? So you have to compare him to those standards. And if he doesn't meet them, and if it doesn't look like he will meet them within a month, 3 months, 6 months, well, there's your answer. I mean, there's one thing that lifeguards do when they go out to save someone from drowning. If that person is drowning and they're panicking, they're staying in the water, and the lifeguard isn't getting in the water to save them, because it's better one person drown than two. It is just as simple and cold as that. Okay. So if this young man wants to drown, don't go down with him. Right. But, you know, initially try to have a chat with him about it and say, look, what do you want? Do you want the same thing that I want? Are you willing to do the same things that I'm willing to do? Are you willing to sacrifice the now for the future? Because that's what I'm doing currently. And you can tell very easily whether or not someone has really thought about things as to their answers. You're not asking him and then expecting the answer to be, yes, I'm willing. What you're doing is you're seeing, like if you ask him, hey, are you willing to make sacrifices for the future? If he goes, yes, well, then he just hasn't thought about it, right? Because my answer would be, of course I'm willing to, but the question is what kind of sacrifices? I'm willing to make these sacrifices. You know, how much thought has he put into your future, your relationship, him as a father, him as a husband? You know, look, relationships turn into legal contracts. And if you can't discuss with him things as basic as dinner and other things, then you can't discuss with him power of attorney. You can't trust him with mortgages. You can't trust him with things like you're going to have to trust him with. So that would be my general advice. I'm just some guy on the internet, but I hope I have helped. Good luck.